I'm the Super Comadre from RadioCrystalUSA.com, and I just want to tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. So, La Super Comadre, my platform is all about bringing people on, special guests, who either do something for the community, who have done something for the community, who match up the pillars of what my show is about, which is about taking care of your heart and soul, which is about political engagement, which is about education. So every person that comes on can be a super comadre or a super compadre, someone that's out there doing something for the community. So I invite you all to listen and to watch every Tuesday when we record the show. But it also repeats on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning and at 10 o'clock at night on RadioCrystalUSA.com. And don't forget to give us a like. Adiós. Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Es la Super Comadre Claudia with RadioCrystalUSA.com. How are you doing? ¿Cómo están todos? ¿Dónde está mi Super Comadre Liliana Elizondo?
I thought you were not gonna have me here. I thought I was behind the scenes.
You know what? I had to bring you to the front of the scenes because you were celebrating something today. I saw you posting.
Yeah,
something you did a while back.
Of being married. I don't have it with me.
You have both meses.
Ya pasaron el tiempo.
You know what?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Right? I'm so happy for you that time is flying while you're having fun. So, 2 meses, yeah, ¿verdad? 2 años de ¿cómo se dice? 3. When you're dating?
Almost 3.
Really? So you were together for almost 3?
Yep.
I remember when you first met him, I was kind of there behind the scenes, and you were like sharing 3 years ago before the pandemic.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was a pandemic.
And then here you are. I am super duper excited for you. And I like to celebrate, these amazing and wonderful life events because you, of all people, Liliana, deserve all the amor and attention that is there with con tu, I want to say, can I say his name? With Mitch?
Yeah, with Mitch. Yeah.
Can I say his name?
Everyone knows him.
With Mitch?
Everywhere I go, I know
him
because of me.
Hey, you know what they say, when 2 becomes 1.
He knew what he was getting into. So he knows.
You know what? And that's what I was wondering too. When you first met him, I'm like, does he know what he's getting himself into?
I told him from day one, hey, I'm public. Everything I public.
And there he is. I'm so glad.
He didn't mind.
Todo bien. I'm super duper happy for you. Well, pues mira, gracias por toda la atención que has puesto para RadioCrystalUSA.com y gracias por tener esta plataforma para traer a personas que están haciendo cosas para la comunidad, que siempre empieza un proyecto con, with something inside their heart, something that they were going through. And that's what my show is about. It's bringing, especially women coming on and sharing a journey, a resource, a story that could potentially touch someone's lives and life out there. So, I want to just put a little twist to this.
I have a lot of friends over 45 that they think, oh, life's over. I'm not gonna find someone. I mean, there's someone looking for that someone for you.
Hay una, como dice mi mamá, hay una
so much, or workaholics like me.
Yeah, well, you know what? Speaking of finding your partner, one of the things that I want to touch on today, Liliana, which I think is super important, is finding the person in you.
Yeah.
Before you even think about a partner.
You must be complete in order to, and the other person has to be complete too, in order for you to find each other. You cannot be all broken
exactly.
and expect someone to pick up all your pieces. You can't. No.
No. You gotta just kind of take care of yourself.
Nope. You have to be complete, and the other person has to be complete, so you can You can make
Exactly.
another. I mean, a bigger whole, a bigger piece, complete piece.
Yes, yes. I am totally with you. I totally agree that you have to be a whole person, and meet someone that's also worked on themselves or working on themselves, and that way you can move forward together. But congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
I have a new super comadre today.
Well, tell me about your special guest.
Gracias. Yes, and it's all about, I'm really big on bringing people that have stories, that have missions, that have resources that you could potentially take, listen, bring it to your heart, and if it touches you, potentially could touch someone else in your family. And I know, like Super Comadre Liliana, she found her, her whole person, and she's had an amazing, marital life, and I'm so happy for her. And so I have someone here because she's going to talk about the first person that you need to be in touch with, regardless of what you do, whether you're being with your family, maybe teniendo loco for your person out there that's going to find you, or you're going to find them. But the most important person you need to focus on and shine the light on is yourself. And I brought on this amazing super comadre who's going to talk about her passion. I'm going to take a little bit of a twist here now for this new school year. Because I'm in education, so I always talk about school, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to take a twist now. I years ago when I was months ago when I was a school librarian, I started something called the Passion Project Speaker Series. And I brought in guests during the pandemic online, just like this. And then once the pandemic kind of cleared, I brought people in person. And I brought people to talk about their passion. And I brought everyone that had to do with either they started a business, or they led an organization, or they're in politics, or they're just an amazing mom that had something to share to the students. And so I want to kind of bring this in with La Super Comadre, and I want you to talk about your passion, Kayla, your passion behind the work that you do with Vow Empowerment, because it's all about shining the light on yourself,
yes,
taking care of you before you take care of everything and everybody.
Yes.
But I want you to share the mission, the Kayla behind how you now have Vow Empowerment, and what does Vow Empowerment mean, and how do we get to Vow Empowerment? So welcome, Kayla. Please share your beautiful, amazing, challenging passion and story.
Se vale llorar.
Llora todo lo que quieras. Mira, aquí tengo un Kleenex para es una almohada.
We need to have a Kleenex box.
Right. Yes. So welcome.
So thank you for having me here. So my name is Kayla Riola, and I'm a self-love coach. So I started Vow Empowerment 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, because I was in my own healing journey. And the reason prior to 2 years ago was because I was having a very hard, difficult relationship with my daughter, which now she's 14. And our relationship was very, very just not very well. And the last time that I was able to see her in her eyes, I saw myself there, my inner child.
Oh.
Where at that moment I wasn't in very good speaking terms with my father, and I didn't want nothing with him. I said, if I keep doing this to my daughter, we're going to be in the same place. I'm not going to have a great relationship with her. She gets married and has kids. I'm not going to be able to see my kids because she's going to resent me. She's going to hate me. Same feelings I was having towards my father at that time. And I said, I have to do something about it. She was getting to a point where she was rude and disrespectful to me. And I took a course called Understanding Adolescence.
Okay.
And in this course, trying to, understand them, there was an actual, one of the lessons was about triggers of our past traumas. And that in order for us to understand them, we had traumas that they would trigger that we had not healed from.
Wow.
And in order to understand them, we had to heal them. And in order to be patient, we had to heal so we can understand them and be patient with them. So
okay, why are my eyes watering up now?
So right there was like, oh crap, I have healing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Me? I have healing, like, of what? I don't get it, you know? And so I started my healing journey, right? And I was just lost everywhere, seeking for help, sometimes within our community, our family, our friends. And the comments I had were, well, you wanted to get married young. So I got married at the age of 16.
Wow.
Because my father constantly reminded me as a child that women were only good to be stay-at-home moms and housewives. So for me, 16 or 18 didn't matter. I was going to get married and be a housewife. Right? So when I was dating my husband, wanted to get married. We got married. So for me, that's what I grew up with. And having my kids, I didn't have self-love. I wasn't taking care of myself. I grew up with just thinking that was the normal, right? So I did that. I got married young. I had my kids back to back, which my second one was a surprise. I was going on 5 months pregnant. I was barely finding out I was pregnant. Yeah, and it was funny because it was like they did a free ultrasound, at those clinics where you do the pregnancy test. And they're like, oh, yeah, do you want to know what you're having? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Baby's like this, right? And she's like, no, you're like 22 weeks along and you're having a boy. Oh, my God. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you're having a boy.
I was 6 months when I found out my baby was 6 months when I found out. I was like, what? Yes. How did that happen?
I know. And they're like, yeah. And then she turns around the monitor, tells me the size. And I'm like, okay. Like, okay. My baby was 6 months.
You're like,
so like,
what am I going to do?
So, and it was funny because my husband was the one that had the ascos and the vomitos.
Oh my God. He had sympathy.
We thought he had something.
Algo que comió.
Right? Algo que comió. So we didn't think much of it. But it was funny because it was like a whole week or more that he was just, when he was brushing his teeth, he couldn't, we didn't know why.
Feeling all the...
I was the one with the antojos. I was breastfeeding my kids, so we're thinking, it's the breastfeeding. I'm just more hungry. But no, I was breastfeeding and pregnant at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So, having that, I noticed, at the same time, I was repeating the same cycle with my kids, teaching my daughter that she was supposed to be cleaning.
Now, let me ask you this. So your husband, were y'all the same age when y'all got married?
My husband was 19. I was 16.
Okay. So did he share the same sentiment as your dad?
We're both raised
in the
with the same machismo.
Okay.
Thought a little different, not so much, because in the form of, there were certain things my husband did that his mom didn't do, like planchándole. I don't iron his clothes because he was so picky about how he did it. So he does it,
of it. Okay.
When on my side, with my dad, it'd be like, no, you have to. Yeah. You have to do it, right? But it was just certain things that my husband did do for himself. But there were other things that was like, no, I'm the man of the house. I'm this. So at that time, having my kids, more older, in my church, they sent a certain minister. Yeah. And he was always talking about how a marriage is supposed to work, how a family is supposed to work. So I went to the same church my parents went, and there's where I realized that the machismo in our culture, in the Mexican culture, I want to say, because I know it's not just in the Mexican culture, but because I'm Mexican, because they would say, no, the man's job is to do this. But my dad was like, he would use certain scriptures and say, no, you as the women are only good. Yes, porque aquí dice. Yeah. So for me, growing up to do that, I thought it was normal because I saw my mom being a housewife, a stay-home mom, attending to my father's needs and taking care of us. So in my mind is, well, I'm going to be.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. Yeah. But anything I did ever mention to my dad, I want to do this, I want to try this, his answer was, no, mija.
And what were some of the things you would throw out there?
One of the things was I wanted to do karate.
Okay.
I wanted to try karate.
And your dad said,
no, that's for boys.
Okay.
You are supposed to be here helping your mom to clean, because when you grow up, you're going to be taking care of your kids and your husband. You cannot go out. Yeah. Like, your place is in the house.
Yeah.
only us men can go out. You know.
So how did you? Okay, so Kayla, let's fast forward. Okay, because I met you a year ago, and I met this woman who stood up in front of a crowd of women who were all each in our own right doing something right in our community or our sphere of supporting, and I would have never have guessed. What was the turning point when Kayla was like, I think I'm gonna do it in this way?
Yes. So there were certain things that I went through with my dad.
Yeah.
Always comparing us with the men, with my brothers.
Okay.
And there were little things that I didn't realize that I was already breaking that cycle.
Oh.
In my own home.
Okay.
Like, and my husband and I would talk and say, hey, we're never going to compare our kids.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like that.
So he's on board with.
So and then he would tell me, okay, well, we're never going to do this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like when my dad did this.
Yeah.
So little by little, without realizing, we were already kind of putting that in.
Okay.
But when the minister, like I said, talk in these topics, I started learning more. Like, hold on, my dad said this, but you're saying this.
It doesn't match.
It doesn't make sense. And I don't want to live like this.
Yeah.
I'd rather live like this, where my husband is going to be my partner and he's going to help me. He's going to do this. So it took a long time for me to start setting boundaries with my husband.
That's important.
And getting my husband on board.
Okay.
On that.
How'd you do that?
I had to change.
We all want to know.
Yes, I had to change first.
Oh, you had to go deep inside.
We had to change.
Okay.
If you want your husband, your partner to change, and if that husband or partner loves you, he will change. Because when I finally got my own life coach, and she told me,
okay, hold on. Did you hear this? Life coach.
Yes.
And what she started first was not trying to change the people around, is that you had to go deep in first. Okay.
And she said, if you are in a relationship, you're going to grow.
Yeah.
I said, and it's up to your partner if he's either going to grow with you or stay in the same place. Yeah. That's where you're going to decide.
Wow. And you're going to have to be ready if that person grows or goes. Oh, did I just say
yes?
Grows or goes.
So she did a disclaimer like, hey, you're going to change your life, your mindset, your everything. But I cannot guarantee
que él va a ir contigo.
So that was hard.
Wow.
And it took some time.
Yeah.
And little by little. But me giving him, boundaries, me giving him ultimatums. Like, knowing my self-worth. Yeah. You know what? I'm no longer accepting this from you. So,
because I love myself more.
So he started seeing that he didn't want to lose me. Yeah. He started seeing like, you know what, you're right. Yeah. Then of course we go to the same church and him listening to the pastor speak. Then there were times where I've taken him to the pastor. Yeah. And the pastor giving us an advice, but then mainly to him. Yeah. And him knowing. So it took some time. It took some time for him to change, for us to change. Mm-hmm. And then when I turned 30, by that time my parents were separated. Okay. But my daughter, she loves art, she loves drawing. Oh. And she comes to me and she's doing me a drawing, so she already knows I love purple. She knows, she knows things about me.
Oh, okay.
And she says, Mom, what's your favorite hobby? And I was working in the office with my husband, and I said, look, baby, I cannot answer you that right now. I'm like, but let me just finish this and I'll get back to you. Yes. But it was also because I didn't have an answer for it. Yeah. Yeah. So I turned around, look at my husband, and I said, hey, what's your favorite hobby?
I love it.
And he's like, I already know it, of course, right? He's like, fishing? Okay. I said, yeah, fishing. I'm like, but when did you discover that you love fishing? Yeah. And he's like, just a couple of years ago, right? Yeah. Going to where I'm from, because when I got married, I moved to Houston. Yeah. So going to visit my parents, he made friends with my brothers and other friends, and they would go out fishing. So he loved it ever since. And I said, okay, but you learned this now being married, right? Yeah. Not before, because then his childhood was nothing but work. Because that's what
there's no hobbies,
right? There's no hobbies. There's nothing right. Trabajar, right? So I was like, okay, what's my favorite hobby? And he looks at me and he's like, Zumba. And I'm like, no, that's for my health. Yeah. I'm going because I'm losing weight because I'm having health issues. Yeah. And yes, I probably go once, twice a day, but that's not my favorite hobby. Yeah. And then I tell him, I don't have a favorite hobby.
Wow.
I was just home, cleaning,
business, helping with the using, working.
Yes, but I was like, before I got married, I was just home, helping my mom with los quehaceres, my little brother, everything. Then I got married to do just that.
Same thing.
So what did I ever do for myself to say, oh, I love doing this?
Oh my gosh. And then?
So I was like, I'm on a mission. I have to find out what. And I was like, that's my mission, to find out what my hobby is.
So this was your turning point.
So that was my turning point, where by then I already had my coach.
Yeah.
Which then made me realize that I needed to become a coach for someone where I was then.
Wow.
So helping moms prioritize and realize that they need to take care of themselves first, right? To be the best version of themselves and everything. Then, the years passed and I niched it down to self-love.
So vow empowerment.
Is
that your baby?
Yes.
I mean, you literally birthed a movement, a baby, a mission.
This was in August, and by December,
what year?
I turned 30, so 2 years ago.
You're still a baby. It's okay.
So that was August. By December, I had already had the name Vow Empowerment. But when I was choosing the name, because I didn't want it just to be Kayla's coaching, consulting, I wanted it to have a meaning. So Vow Empowerment has a meaning.
And if for those that are listening and or watching, if you get a chance to see this and you go back and watch the recording, Liliana, the amazing Liliana, has pulled up what Vow Empowerment looks like. And I love the color.
Yes.
Purple.
It has a meaning.
Was that?
Okay.
Tell me about the color purple. Tell me about the name Vow. Yes. And I see that the O has a little crown on it.
Yes. So Vow, I wanted a meaning where, especially like in my church, right? We get married and we say our vows to our spouse.
To someone else, right? That you were promised.
We have our children, and when they're babies, we go in front of the church and say, hey, God, I bring you this baby that you have given me. Have you gifted me? I'm going to, guide him to serve you and worship you, do good and all that.
So a vow for your children.
For our children to God. Right? We make vows to our friends, our family. I'm going to be there for you. We promise everyone else, but ourselves.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry. It's so true. Okay. So what did it feel like? Because I'm just going to throw this out there. By you putting yourself first, by you making a vow to Kayla, how was that received amongst the other people around you that are not used to this kind of vow?
I still get criticism.
Okay.
But from vow, it has another meaning.
Okay.
It has vow to be valiant, outstanding women.
I love it. So valiant, outstanding women, vow. So take us to like a little bit of the story. So you just had an event that has all this work, all this self-love and taking care of you, and you having to continue to push forward despite the criticism. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but the criticism probably, I don't know. Did you see it coming more from your own family, close friends? Was it from the outside? Where did you feel most of the criticism? And also, what made you continue to move forward despite maybe some of the daggers that were being thrown towards you?
I didn't get criticism from my family. I had their support. At the same time, my husband was like, why? Because he was like, I give you everything. You know, he's like, I work for you, I have a business. You know, you're helping me with my business. Why do you want to do this? And I said, and he didn't ask me in a wrong way, like, no, I don't want you to do this. He just didn't understand. Like, you know, usually you start a business because you want money or, you know, something for yourself or better yourself. But he's like, we have this, you know, we have a house, we have our kids, we have everything we need. Why do you want to start something for yourself? So like I said, I got married at 16 and I was like, because I want to say I accomplished something for myself.
For you.
I was like, because all I learned was that I had to be a mom and a wife and help you and help this and that. And I'm like, I want something that I said I accomplished. I'm proud of myself. So with my mom, I told my sisters, I told my brothers, you know, everything was okay. Everything, my friends around me, okay. But criticism from, other family members or other people from, whether it's church or not church related, because I don't just know church people. It's just in general, other women, and having to tell them, like, my husband helps me. Why? That's not his job. He's supposed to be resting. And it's like, no, I'm like, I didn't make these children by myself. Oh, aren't you ashamed of saying that your husband and your kids help you clean your home? And I'm like, no, because I work with my husband. We have a business.
And we all make a mess.
So we all make a mess. And I didn't make these kids by myself. So no. And then, I guess you could say lucky for me, he's an introvert. So he doesn't have friends and he doesn't like going out. His friends are his kids. He loves being with his kids. He missed being with my two oldest kids because he was out early in the morning and late at night. So now that we have our own business and we can manage, our time a little bit better, every minute he has to have, with his kids, he'll take it. I'm here doing that. Who stay with the kids?
The dad.
And he's like, mis chiquitos, and and he loves it. And he loves it. So I still get criticism. I still get looks. I still get comments. Hey, people are saying this about you.
And what makes you build? What makes you deflect or help you deflect when that comes towards you? What is it that helps you keep going?
It motivates me because they have no self-love.
Oh.
Because if they had self-love, they wouldn't be doing that. Yes. Perfect. So when I feel that, I hear, sometimes I would hear my sister or other friends like, why do you let them talk to you like that? Why do you? I was like, because they don't have self-love. It's like, ay, pobrecito. So it pushes me to say, I'm going to keep doing this to teach these to other women. But then realizing that I had to make that change and then we need it at a young age. So I'm working with my kids.
So now let me take you to a TikTok that I saw the other day.
Okay. Which one?
It was the one where you were sitting in the car and you were, and the write-up you had was so beautifully put. You're like, I'm trying to do something different. I'm paraphrasing.
Yes.
And the train is passing by and it's a green. It always passes by around this time, so we'll let the train pass by. But Kayla's here, and just to kind of recap, if you're just joining in here at La Super Comadre Claudia Show, we are talking, now we're taking a different turn here, and the guest that I'm bringing on, I'm leading with, what is your passion? What is the mission and work you're doing? And how did you get to that point? Because everyone that comes on here talks about their life story, a journey, a resource that could potentially touch someone's life and it can be passed on to someone else. And today, we started off with Liliana and wishing her an amazing, happy 2-month anniversary. She just got married 2 months ago and I was a madrina, a maid of honor. No, matron of honor or maid of honor. I don't even know. And so, we talked about how when you are in a relationship or in a partnership, you don't go looking for your other half to make a whole. You have to be a whole person and be able to, be that whole person and together even be a bigger whole or I don't know what you want to call it, but you know what I'm saying? And so, and one of the things that I wanted to tie that into is the person you need to shine the light on literally is yourself first and take care of you, love yourself. I know it sounds a little cliche and I know it's the beginning of the year, but that's where sometimes the beginning of the year is used to like resolutions or vision, goals, empowering yourself. Like, what is 2023 going to be for you? Whether it's taking whatever goals you have, is it health? Is it professional? Is it with your family? Is it, what does that look like for you? It all looks different for everyone. And so Kayla's been sharing her journey of getting to that turning point of loving herself, finding her hobby. What is it that motivates her and gets her going, and what's the legacy she wants to leave? And then we're now at the point where I wanted to share again and bring to light that very powerful TikTok you did about you're doing something different with your daughter.
Yes.
What was going through your mind when you sat there in the car and you were talking, you were not talking, but you typed it out.
Yeah.
But what was that sentiment, that feeling that got you to that point where I need people to know
that video is of me literally coming out of therapy.
Okay.
So I just started therapy last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's intense. I'm a self-love coach. I've been working and healing on myself, but there you come to a point where you can't do everything yourself. So I started therapy, and that one I talked about certain trauma that I went through, and it hurts. Yeah. So I think as a parent, you want the best for your kids. You don't want them to go through that pain. You don't want them to do it, right? But it's where I realized where I was repeating the cycle.
Wow. You by yourself. No one pointed it out.
No. I was repeating the cycle, and I wanted it to stop. Yeah. Because I said, then she's going to hate me. She's not going to love me. She's going to need, and she does still, and I'm working on it with her, needs healing from the traumas I caused her. So when I started taking care of myself, when you start taking care of yourself, your needs first, you now want to teach that to others. Yeah. And if you have kids, what are you going to do? You're going to teach it to them. Yeah. So I had to, we've gone to that part where our kids throw back at us our mistakes and we get mad and we're like, don't disrespect me. Don't do this and do that. Because I used to do that. But, you start seeing the growth. And I said, she brought up something that I did to her one time. Yeah. It was the two oldest kids. Yeah. And I turned around and I was so proud of myself because I did not get mad how I used to get mad. I didn't say, stop it. I didn't manipulate her to say it was her fault. I turned around and I said, I know, Mom. I apologize. But I'm working on that. So I signed her up to, I don't know if you know Natalia Castillo. No. The Fire You Up program. It's a 6-week program that helps you with mental health, public speaking, walking with confidence. It's a 6-week program. Every time you go, it's a different, subject that you learn. So I signed her up because she was very quiet and very shy. And I knew I had part to do with that. Yeah. Because we like to tell our kids, no me contestes, right? And they take it to where like, no, I can't talk because if I talk and if I speak up, I'm going to get in trouble. Yeah. So I realized I caused that trauma to my child. So I went and signed her up. And then she said, can you do it with me? Really? So I was like, okay, it can't hurt. I'm investing on myself. I'm going to learn something, right? Something's going to come out good. Well, it did. Our relationship got better. Oh, because there's one day where it's a mental health day. Okay. It's a retreat. It's the whole day. And we are with a therapist and we are talking about our problems and why we're there, why we want to change. Okay. So I had to speak my story. I had to speak about my father. I had to speak about the hurt, the trauma, the pain that I had. So now my daughter wasn't looking at me as like, oh, that's my mom.
Was this the first time your daughter heard this?
Yes.
Wow.
It was because, even in my events, I speak a little bit about, my dad this, my dad that, like right now, but not the deep, not the me feelings, not the me crying. So her listening to me, how I'm hurt and why I do certain things that we do because of our past traumas. Yeah. She understood me now, not just as a mother, but as a person,
as a human, as a fellow human being.
So she hugs me after that. Yeah. After that, her relationship, she doesn't realize this and I haven't told her, but the way she looks at me now is different.
It's shifted. It's a big shift.
Yes. Like,
how old is she?
And she's 14.
She's 14.
She's about to be 15.
You and I have the same age daughters. They're both 14. And when I saw that and I listened to that, I knew that there's a reason why you're here. And now you have given me some great information about the fire. What was the
Fire You Up?
The Fire You Up. I have a 13 and a 14-year-old. So we're going through some stuff. And I have found myself apologizing because I'm trying to do things different than what I grew up with. Yeah. I grew up with, it's something similar, but not really, where I had a father who was a little bit machismo with my mom, but not with me. With my mom, it was like telling her what to wear, what not to wear. You're married, you're no longer going to work, you're going to work at home, take care of the kids, and that's it. But with me, it was like, you're going to go to college, don't ever tell you anybody what to do. If you don't want to get married, don't get married, have your own bank account. And I was like, I'm seeing two different stories here. Yeah. But anyway, so it's a little bit the same. And so I kind of went on the deep end, like with my girls, like, do whatever do it all. I'm going to be cheering you on. You know, speak up. Don't worry if you get in trouble. I'm going to be right there. If you got in trouble, but you had to stand up for yourself. It's okay.
That's me.
You know, and then sometimes I'm like, was that too much for me? Did I make them quiet because of their mom being all like, do it? Like, I'm all like, do whatever you want. And
it helps because they're able to speak up. Because after we did the program, she's the founder. Natalia Castillo is the founder of Fire You Up, but she's the director of the Miss Texas Latina pageant.
Wow. So that is big time. Get up there.
Now my daughter, from being shy, by the end of the 6 weeks, she was like, you did not recognize her. And people that know her, that she was so shy, they're like, whoa, she bloomed, she did this, right? And then she signs up for the pageant.
No, she didn't.
Wow.
She competed.
She competed.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She made the top 10, but she also didn't make it, which was just fine for me because I was like, I'm going to have to drive her around all these places.
All different. But for her to get up and to speak and to hear herself and her story.
Yes. So for me, it was like I did my job with her now.
You did.
Her not being shy, her speaking up, her knowing her worth, me telling her, don't get married young, disfruta tu juventud, go to school, don't go to school, start a business, you know, do what you love.
You're like me, like, girl, you can go online, go to Etsy, create something, make your music, use your phone to film stuff.
Yes,
you know, your own movie.
So now I'm working on my son. Because he's much harder because other than I know the traumas that I've you know endured on them, he's an introvert, just like his dad.
Okay.
So it's just harder to get him to speaking at all.
It's gonna be practice
because he's just quiet. He's just calm. Not just because of what I did to him, like not letting him speak up. It's just like he's just. You see him like I've seen him play with his friends at school when I would volunteer at school, and it's like they start off playing. But then by the time I know his friends are over there, and he just got distracted and just started on his own. He loves being alone, So now it's kind of hard because I always had troubles with him with the teacher saying, we don't know if he's understanding. He's not speaking. And I'm like, well, I'm his mom and he doesn't speak to me either, but I'll talk to him. Like, I'll talk to him. And I'm like, can you please just nod your head at least?
Something.
Do something.
We're not saying
yes. I'm like, can you please do that?
Yeah.
But it's something that I realized that I had to do. And where we are now, the relationship, my two oldest, I'm going to say it like this because she even spoke about it in that retreat. Where, because she lacked love because of the relationship we had. She didn't know her self-worth and she was a bully to my son.
Oh, wow.
And when she started working on herself after the Fire You Up program, she started changing.
Different relationship.
And now it's like, they're like friends and they tell each other secrets and stuff.
I love it. Girl, I got to sign my girls up.
And then now with the little ones, they're like, that now they're fighting to go and sleep with her in her room.
Aww.
Like, no, it's my turn. No, it's my turn. And there she goes. And she's like,
you're
tough. So now the relationships are great. And I remember one time, when I was changing, I had told my little one, I'm no longer going to hit y'all with the cinto. Okay. I stopped that a long time ago.
No chancla, no
this, right? So there was something that he did and I'm driving. And they're like, Mom, he hit me. I don't know what he did. And I turn around like mad, frustrated. And I just give him a look. And he goes with his big sister. He goes and he hides. And he's like, Mom, remember you said you weren't going to hit me no more.
No more chanclas.
You remember? Yeah. And I'm like, yes, but doesn't mean I can't give you another consequence, right? But I was like,
no more playing. I'm not gonna. Do they have phones?
They don't have phones. Okay, but their what is it? Their love language him is gifts, like surprises. Like, I'm not buying you this no more. I'm not buying you that.
We are at 7:53. I cannot believe how fast this time has gone because we're literally gonna have an hour, but we had to do 45 minutes. But you said some powerful things tonight. You talked about building that relationship with the fire you up. You talked about knowing love languages. I think that's super duper important. And you talked about tapping into being something that we are not used to. And I'm gonna close with this. And also I want you to also close it out with how to find you, how to connect with you, how to go to your next vision board, because you just had a vision board extravaganza party to get whatever you want to call it, where people came, women, mostly women, right?
Yes, it was women.
It was geared for women to come together and create that self-love for themselves, identify it. So, but I want to ask you this. I'm gonna tell you the word and what comes to mind. The word is vulnerability. Talk about that.
It's very important to talk about it. I will start a podcast called Vulnerabilities of Women.
No.
Yes.
I just threw that out because I had some connection to vulnerability on Friday with another organization. I'm like, I like that discussion.
I trademarked that already. It's vow.
Vulnerability again.
Vulnerabilities of women.
Of women.
Vow. Vow to be valiant, outstanding women.
Outstanding women.
And I think it's very important. So because you're courageous, you're valiant.
Yeah.
You're speaking your story no matter what they're gonna say about yourself.
Now,
but you're doing it for a purpose to help other women know that they're not alone in that saying. Because when I started my self-love journey, I was lonely, I was confused, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I was taught the 5 steps of the self-love roadmap, and it's with self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, self-gratitude, self-care, and self-trust in that order. I did all that different order, and that was so hard. When I learned these steps, I was like, I could have saved a lot of heartbreaks and crying and everything. So I teach that to my clients, and that's what I'm doing in my workshops. I already had the self-forgiveness where we had all the women in there crying because they had to forgive themselves. And that's the hardest step to always do. The second one was self-acceptance, where we did the vision board. Is now, what are you accepting for yourself? What do you want for yourself? Your purpose. The next one will be, next workshop will be gratitude. Learn how to be grateful to yourself. And in this, I incorporate meditation. And at the end of meditation, the first time I did this, at the end, before you open your eyes, put my hands and say, I love you, Kayla. And I cried because I never said that to myself. You know, so learning self-love is very important. And I want to say this right before, we finish this off. My husband said, okay, there's a lot of single women learning their self-worth. They're single now. You as a married woman, how can you tell them to find self-love if you're married? And I said, well, I have an answer to that. I'm like, I expected you as my husband to fulfill all my love, all the love I needed. I was like, without realizing that there was another kind of love that I had to fulfill on my own. So that's where I learned the love languages. And mine is words of affirmation. Right. And his is acts of services. And I needed him to give me that when he was showing me his love with acts of services.
Girl, I have mine right here.
When I learned how his love languages, I was like, oh, he loves me.
Oh my God.
I'm
I'm not lying. Mira. Here's my and the gentleman that was here earlier. I did mine, and then I sent him the link, and he did his. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna match this up. Mine was quality of time first, and then acts of service. His was quality of time first, and then receiving gifts.
Well, his is acts of services.
Okay.
So when I learned that, I was like, he loves me. But because I needed to hear it from him, I didn't believe he loved me. But now, when I want to show him some love, I do acts of services.
Now,
but then when he knows I need some love, he knows his words of affirmation. But when I realized, I was like, oh my God, he loves me. He's done this. Like, he's done a lot for me. So as a married person, yes, I get my love, but I also need my own.
For yourself.
And he's like, how do you show yourself self-love? I said, well, taking rest, setting boundaries, working on myself so I can be a good wife to you, a good, mom to my kids, a good friend, a good business person, all of that. So it's very important that in any stage of our life, we need self-love. Because it's just very important for us to be the best version in anything and everything. And when you have succeeded in that, our kids are going to be successful also.
It rubs off. They're seeing it and they're learning it.
Yes.
So you have break-in.
Comadre, can you hear me?
Yes.
Guess what? We have some comments from our viewers.
Oh my gosh. All right. So Cookie Face. Oh, Latricia says, Happy New Year, comadre and amigas. Yes. Feliz Año Nuevo, Latricia Grace Spencer. And we have, hello, ladies. Vulnerability is always a place to start. Yes. Angela Casares. ¿Cómo estás, super comadre? Thank you so much. And this is good stuff. Thank you for sharing, Marianne Garcia. Thank you so much for chiming in. This is my fellow Hey Comadre. Where do we go to learn what type of love we need? Is there a link or a test or something? I need to know this. Oh, the love languages. There's a test you can take online
for that one. Yeah, I read the audiobook. What is it? The 5
and there's one for kids.
There's one for kids. I was reading that. So that's another thing. So people think it's selfish, but it's not selfish. It's self-love, because this is what I do. I listen to audiobooks and I read a self-help for me.
Yes.
Then one for my marriage.
Okay.
One for my kids.
Okay.
One for his business and one for my business. And then again, me, husband, kids, business. You see, that's how it goes.
That's the order. I think of like when you drop a pebble into the water, like you're the pebble, you hit the water, and then the rings go out. Like you make that impact.
Yeah.
And it's like taking care of yourself so that when you hit and you make a good hit, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna resonate. And then also I'm a big believer that what you send out is what you receive.
Yes.
So the more it's like you stop and center yourself and take care of yourself.
Yeah, there was a lot of times that I've never said I'm proud of myself for this. I'm not, I'm proud of myself for that. It was just, we're taught to believe that we are supposed to be happy with our husband's love or that marriage is a thing. Like that's your biggest accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I'm making sure that I don't tell, my daughter that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're going to get to a point where you're going to need a companionship. But if you can wait, make sure you do this, and that. But don't, I'm teaching her to learn her self-worth. Yeah. Like, yes, and I'm telling her, it's so funny. I was like, you're going to do a prenup. You're going to do
wow.
I'm letting her know that right now.
You're empowering her.
Yes, I was like, but because I want the best part. But imagine, if I don't know my self-worth, what am I teaching my daughter?
Exactly. So
if I don't respect her, she's not going to learn
exactly
to expect that from someone else. She sees how my husband loves me. She's seeing that example. And imagine if we're always fighting, so that was one of the things that I wanted to say was when I started realizing that I was changing. It was funny because my husband and he was cooking. We were both cooking and we're talking about something, and he says a sarcastic joke, trying to insult me. And I turn around and I'm like ready to defend myself. But at the moment that I'm about to do it, I'm like, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Like he said something trying to make fun of me, but I'm like, no, you're right. But then I'm like, but why did you have to say it like that? We're having a conversation and you just want to throw it up. And then he stays quiet and he's like, I don't know. I guess it's just like a costumbre already. A costumbre. That's when I started realizing that when I was working on myself, now there are habits that we realize that we get from our parents, from the novelas, culture, society, everything. We learn these little toxic, narcissistic, traits or habits from them. And when you are busy taking care of yourself, you're not worried about nobody else but yourself and just bettering yourself. And you're gonna succeed in your relationship. You're going to succeed in your business, in your career, in your finances, because from there on, my husband and I have been growing in all areas of our life. In every area of our life, like his business. Now I started my business, the relationship with our kids, his relationship with the kids. We now have moved to a bigger home, because of our business. I
remember a year ago. Weren't you in the middle of that?
Yes, I was in the middle of that, so it was like we finally got a home that you could say is our dream home that we never thought we would ever get, and at a very young age, And so it's like self-love is very, very necessary. Even, and I want to make a video soon that even for gentle parenting, The number one
I
tool you need is
love
self-love.
that is number one right now, is gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to hold your emotions for
Mm.
them,
Mhm.
having to learn also how to handle their
Yeah.
emotions. But if you don't know how to do it,
Y luego,
You
you're
know,
going to repeat the process.
you're
You're gonna
repeating the
repeat
process.
¿Cómo se dice? The generations
Yes,
of what was
because
done.
I had that with my sons. My sons son bien gritones cuando se enojan.
Mm.
But who did they get that from? They got it from me.
I'm like,
My daughter talking back to me with an attitude. She sounds like me.
am I an echo?
Yes, and I'm like, but now
Okay.
it's different.
Yeah.
Now it's different. So
Well, speaking of making sure that people are empowered, as we close out, how can people contact you? So go ahead and just promote yourself here. How do people contact Kayla? How do people become empowered through Val and go to your workshops and follow you, like you, share you, and take it away?
Well, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as Val Empowerment, which stands for Valiant Outstanding Women. And I'm mainly on Instagram, and that's where I'll be posting any workshops coming soon. I'm working on the next one to have, but won't be till March or April. But just follow me on my social media, and I'll be posting on all three of them. Any workshops, anything that we do. I do one-on-one coaching. I'm accepting clients right now. My goal for this year is going to get 6 clients. I already have 3 down, 3 to go. Anyone's interested, you can send me also a DM through any of my social medias. But this year, my goal is to go full-time with Val Empowerment.
Woo! All right, so you heard here how you can support yourself. How can you love yourself? And what better way than someone that has gone through it, someone that continues to work on it. And it's not just in how it permeates to the kids, to the relationship, work, everything, because it all starts with you. And I am super excited to have had Kayla here, who I met a year ago at a vision board planning, and so much has happened since that vision board for even myself.
Yes, because Val Empowerment was just me, my daughter, and I. Then I added a friend. Then last year I added 3. So now we're a team of 6.
Nice.
Where we all have different traumas, culture backgrounds, and we get together.
Yeah.
So what I will start posting soon, especially this year, is not just my story now. It's now their story too, because they have, domestic violence, sexual assault, a lot of, very vulnerable things. That's why I'm saying about my podcast, vulnerabilities of women, where we're going to be crying. We're going to have a Kleenex there for sure, because we are taught to think that we're weak when we speak on our problems, but it's not. Us being weak is being strong, and we're helping other women
and other people connect and speak up. All right, so thank you so much for joining, Kayla.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for coming all the way out here and sharing your mission, sharing these resources, and connecting with you and your story, because we need more stories like this. And everyone that's listening, you have a story too. You have maybe a fight that you need to, bring out. And what better way than to start with loving yourself first? And that's something that's not always done and promoted. And why not now? I mean, go do it. Mejor que hoy que nunca. It's better late than, what is it? Better late than never.
Yes.
So don't forget to come back and click, like, join, follow, share, follow Val Empowerment, follow Kayla on Instagram and all her social media platforms, and come back and watch this again. If you missed something, you can always come back and watch it on Facebook. You can always go watch it on YouTube, and contact us. Contact Kayla, get in touch. Hopefully we'll see you. I like to join some of her sessions too, and maybe in the future be a client. I'd love to be on the other side, because I'm always working on myself as well. And I have 2 daughters, and we share a lot in common. So, Super Comadre Liliana, ya nos vamos a despedir. Voy a ir a visitar a la Super Comadre Marianne, que ahorita está un poco debajo, como se dice, under the weather. So we're going to go out and get a chance to meet with her and make sure she's okay. But Thank you so much. Hasta la otra. Don't forget to like, follow, and share us, RadioCrystalUSA.com. We're also online every single day on online radio on RadioCrystalUSA.com at 10 o'clock in the morning and again at 10 o'clock at night. We have music in between. Listen to us while you're at work. Listen to us while you're working out. Listen to us while you're working on yourself. You know, self-love. If you're taking yourself for a walk, if you're doing some meditation, if you just need some quiet time, and click on all the social medias for Val Empowerment and Kayla, and take care of yourself before you take care of everybody else.
Yes.
Adios. Hasta la otra. Mwah. Oh my God, this is good, girl.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
Oh, yes.
You have been through so much.
Yeah, and with therapy, I've had to like.
Hi, I'm the Super Comadre from RadioCrystalUSA.com, and I just want to tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. So, La Super Comadre, my platform is all about bringing people on, special guests, who either do something for the community, who have done something for the community, who match up the pillars of what my show is about, which is about taking care of your heart and soul, which is about political engagement, which is about education. So every person that comes on can be a super comadre or a super compadre, someone that's out there doing something for the community. So I invite you all to listen and to watch every Tuesday when we record the show. But it also repeats on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning and at 10 o'clock at night on RadioCrystalUSA.com. And don't forget to give us a like. Adios.